let's do collection time. So,
I'm excited for this.
describe this? What are we about to do?
So we've been rummaging our house over the last 2 days about, and this the idea of this is to show 10 Nintendo-ish. I don't know about you, mine's all Nintendo-ish related. Um, items of our
Mostly.
collection, right? We're collectors. We love Nintendo so much. So anything, it could be anything from a video game to an action figure to a magazine, whatever it is, we wanted to share. And this might not be the things that are worth the most money. It could just be things that we really enjoy, we're proud of, sentimental value. Maybe somebody gave it to you, whatever it might be. So we went through everything. We picked 10 each, and we're trying to go back and forth.
All right, who's
Yeah.
going first?
So you go first. You go first. This was
All right.
You go first.
I'm going to start off with a cheat. I'm already cheating. I'm already
What?
cheating on this because the first item on my list has been behind me every time we've done a show. It is this right here. This is a Skyward Sword. I'm going to move my camera a little bit. Can you really see it? It seems dark.
Yeah, it looks
This
like a
is Link. This
display.
is Link right here. This is a Skyward Sword standee. This pretty big little standee here was used as a display for the Skyward Sword game for the Wii, the original version of it. Now that we have the HD version, but this is the original one. It's from 2011, and I believe this came out of a GameStop. Somebody got it from GameStop, and then some years later, I bought it for I think $25.
Wow.
And it's been in my office ever since then.
Is it just cardboard, like hard cardboard?
It is hard cardboard with lots of folds, and it's rounded at the bottom. And actually, the back of it is meant to be a display as well. So it's like a rounded display of Skyward Sword that kind of covers the back. You got Link here. He's sort of 3D. It's a separate cardboard piece that comes out. And then you can see these little sections here for putting the Skyward Sword game on there to sell. I don't know. Back then, maybe
So
they
you have it
grab
empty?
it's empty for a reason right now. But yeah, I have basically put my Zelda collectibles on here. If you look at the top, you can see the Breath of the Wild special edition kind of sneaking in. I got a lot of random stuff up there. I have Starlink up there.
Well, I'm going to start off with one that everybody knows about me, and I'm going to narrow it down a few, right? So everybody knows, what is Drew known for?
Stuffies.
Stuffies or plushies. I count them. I have over 80
Wow.
Nintendo plushies. I want to talk about my three of my favorites. They're all favorites. It's like my children. And then I want to talk about three very specific ones for a reason. So I'm going to start off with this guy, who I've shown multiple times before, Polterpup. He's a cool little guy.
He's adorable.
One of my favorites. This one's a newer one I got. Now, this is not an official Nintendo plushie. This is actually an Etsy one. When it comes to plushie collections, I don't just collect them for like the money value or anything like that. I collect plushies that I see that I like, and I take the tags off. There's no secret. I have no plushies with tags on it. I look at them, I enjoy them. So this guy I got on Etsy, King Bom Bom, and he's really cool.
He's done really well.
He's done really, really well for a non like Nintendo, like Little Buddy or Jats type plushie.
Are his arms posable, or are they just like that?
Nope, they're just like that.
Okay, all right.
The last one I want to show off here is another cool one of my favorites, Dry Bowser.
Arr.
So he's another cool one here. He's kind of big, so
he's pretty cool. You don't see Dry Bowser in
nope.
very often.
Little. He's a cool dude. All right, so again, I have over 80 of these. I just spent all day doing a whole episode.
Let's see the other 77 of them.
But there's three that I want to talk about here because there's some history with these guys. These guys are 2003 Mario Party 5 plushies, right? We have Peach, Mario, and Luigi. You can see they're very worn out. These are Japanese imported.
Oh.
They're from Hudson Soft, which doesn't make they don't make plushies anymore. And these are actually very valuable, John. Each one of these is worth almost $300.
Jeez.
Yeah, they're for whatever reason are really hard to come by, and I don't even really remember, to be honest, where I got them from. But these are from Mario Party 5, 2003. Peach, Luigi, and Mario. They're kind of cool.
Nice. I assume you just ordered them online.
I've had them. There's some of the original plushies I've ever had. So I honestly don't know. I may have gotten them back in 2003. Like they might have been promotional ones with the
Mm-hmm.
game, and I may have bought them just in a GameStop or something like that.
Wow,
2003. How old was I? Because I was 16. That
it was
may have been
20 years
around the
ago.
time I worked at GameStop for one Christmas holiday, John.
Wow,
But yeah,
it's
that's
like a
my
bonus.
that's my first one.
Neat. All right. I have a few little mini collections on this list, and this is the first one. So, when I was a kid, I grew up with Atari for a while, but that was mostly
Oh,
my sibling's system. So the first games I ever played, like the first game I ever played was Atari Adventure. But I didn't have an Atari and I didn't play it that much. The first time that I got my own console and played video games a lot was an NES. So NES is very special to me. And I have several NES systems. I have an action set, a deluxe set. I have the full set of all that stuff.
mm.
But the thing I wanted to share was some of these other little things. So first off, I have a boxed NES Max.
Mm.
That was my favorite controller as a
That's
kid.
in
It
good
has the
condition right there.
yeah, it has the turbo buttons on it. I don't have the Max in here because it's something I use, but turbo buttons. And this was like the first controller that I really like used for playing games, and sometimes cheated a little bit in pro wrestling. And then some of my favorite boxes here. I have a Game Boy in the box.
Is
They're
that so? The
actually
Game Boy in there?
I still have the Game Boy in here. Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know the difference, but they also released the Game Boy with this sort of
Whoa,
future looking
that's cool. Never
cyber
seen that
whatever.
before.
I swear this it must be newer than this one where it just shows the Game Boy. This one also has a Game Boy in the box. So I love those, and they're in great shape. You can see some of the art on the back over here.
Hmm.
They're just awesome. One of these has the headphones, so that's very cool. Not to be outdone, I have the charger for the Game Boy. Did you ever have this? This was a
I did have that. I
it's a
did.
rechargeable battery, and like some of the younger people in the audience will be like, "What?" It's a rechargeable battery that actually has a doesn't show it here a clip. So this is like a big
Yes, I
battery,
had that. I had a lot of Game Boy accessories. I used to play a lot.
and yeah, you clipped it to your belt, and and then it had a cord that went to the Game Boy, so you could play while you're moving around. I actually do have the charger in here, but it doesn't provide a charge. It's just completely dead. I have an NES Advantage in the box. This was my friend Glenn's favorite controller. I would use the Max. He would use the NES Advantage. This is a cool box. You can look at some of the dorky old art on the
I
back of
could
it.
see you on that box, John.
I know. I've never liked the controllers that are big like that. And then, not to be outdone, this is the biggest NES accessory I have. This is the U Force.
Good lord.
So this is the thing. It looks like a laptop, but it reads your
I
hand
remember
motions and
that
whatever.
thing. Yeah, I never
It
had it, but I
is
remember that.
it is a lousy controller.
Do you have
Um,
this thing?
I did a video where I used this to play a game,
My God.
and so the story behind this particular box is I always wanted one, and I wanted one in the box. There was this guy. It wasn't a friend of mine, but he was somebody in our gaming group, and I had a pristine copy of Mike Tyson's Punch Out in the box,
Oh,
and it came with a letter. The letter is a letter, I think it's from Mike Tyson or whatever, but it's particularly rare because most people just threw out the box and along with it, the letter. I
sure.
had all of it. He offered to trade me that Mike Tyson's box for this. But the story behind this is he got this U Force, and I can't verify it completely, but he got this U Force from the son of the inventor of the U Force.
Wow.
And his son had a bunch of these. And so he got one of his own and he got this one. The only reason I could say that the story is probably correct, when I got this, it had never been opened. It's not like
Gosh,
sealed. It
you
doesn't
should
seal, but it
have
had
kept.
never been opened. And so one day, years ago, I actually opened it because I wanted to do a video. And I realized everything was in the plastic perfectly. And I
Oh,
took it out to play it. And I kind of regret doing that.
awesome. That's a good one. Those are good ones, rather. All right, my number. Oh, we're doing it that way. I reverse right. My number 9. This might not be as special as it was back in the day, but it's special for me
Special
for
to
two
you.
reasons. Because one, I bought this for my wife as a gift before we were married, and two, it's the most expensive video game I've really ever paid for personally. So, talking about Earthbound, the card,
Ooh.
I don't think it's as valuable as it used to be, especially now that it's on the NSO.
It
But
fluctuates.
it fluctuates. It's not in like mint condition. I probably would have to say, like on a scale from like good, not not even very good. It's probably good. Uh, but yeah, this was. Oops, sorry. This was one I bought for my wife for one of like her birthdays or something like that. Because she's obsessed. She's loved that game. She's played it before. We played that cartridge together. Um, but yeah, just one of those more little sentimental things. And it was again. I think I paid like $120-ish.
It's been a
20 years
cult
ago.
classic for a long
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
So Earthbound, NES, Super
Very neat.
NES.
My number 8 is, as of that I know, this is the most valuable amiibo that I own, and it is
Ooh.
the gold Mega Man.
Wow. Look at that thing. In the
This
box,
one,
sealed.
yeah. So this is for 3DS. They put out the Mega Man Legacy Collection. It included the game and it included the amiibo. And I don't know why it's super rare. I mean, they probably didn't make a ton of these boxed copies because these boxes are huge. But the Mega Man that's in it is just a white box. You can see that?
Oh, that's weird.
Like, they didn't put art on it, which is really strange because, people are going to take it out or whatever, but they just didn't do the whole amiibo box art. They just
But I guess
left
it
it
has the other
white.
box, right? Which most amiibos
Yeah,
wouldn't
but
have.
who's keeping it in there? I find that really weird. So I keep this amiibo in the box so it doesn't look quite as ugly.
My number 8. This is something I have. I used to have two of, and I remember back in the day, I bought it, and of course I opened it because who wouldn't open it? It's a big boy, and I remember. I don't know why I went on and I bought a second one, and I never opened it. This was an Amazon exclusive. It was $30 at the time, and this is sealed in the
Ooh.
box. The Punch Out Heavyweight Contenders Kit. Now, John, you're asking. It's a big box. It's pretty
What
big.
is
It's pretty
that?
heavy. What is it? Let me tell you what's in this box, and I'm
I
not going to
want
open
it.
it because it's sealed. In this, it goes for $250 new right now.
Oh my
This
God.
is in here is a King Hippo's metal crown replica. It's about this big, and it says his actual crown made out of metal.
What?
There's
All right.
a King Hippo desktop punching bag. Like, you blow up the little punching bag, just like one of those wobble ones that sits on your desk. You can punch it,
Mhm.
and it kind of like comes back up. There's a King Hippo boxer shorts, size large.
This is all in that box?
Yeah, all in this box.
Okay.
And there's a Doc Lewis Remedy chocolate bar that you can eat. All in this box.
Have you? But you've opened it.
Not this one. I bought
you
two
haven't
of them.
opened. I
The
see.
one I opened, I don't have any of the items anymore. They're all gone.
What
But
happened?
this is sealed. I mean, this is from the Wii game, right? So there's a chocolate bar that's
Look, Drew,
in there.
Our audience loves us. And
not
what I'm
opening
hearing
this.
right now in my headphones is they want you to open it so they can see
Look at this. It's
what's in
sealed,
it.
John. There's a
Open
white
it.
seal
Open it.
sticker. Not opening.
What do you think that chocolate bar looks like right now?
I'd eat it. I'd eat it right now in the air. What would I need for someone to tell me to open this and eat the chocolate right
Drew,
now?
we have 204 followers on YouTube. I think we can get to 207 if you eat that chocolate bar.
I'm not opening it. I
All
can't
right.
do it, John.
Now I want that. Oh my God.
It's expensive.
That's very cool.
It's very cool. That's one of my favorites. Yeah, like, even like the little punching bag would be cool to just have sitting on your desk.
Oh my
and the
God.
crown.
All of it. Yeah.
So there's lots of cool stuff. Would you wear the boxer shorts?
No, I don't. I'm not a boxer shorts.
Me either.
I still haven't worn my Manscaped boxer shorts.
Well, those are more like briefs.
Are they? Oh, okay. I don't know.
They're nice. Hey, you know why you'd like them? Because there's no pee hole. And that's a problem for me.
Exactly.
But it's not a problem for you.
The problem with underwear that's like loose fitting is that if you're just in the right mood and the right temperature, I mean, the snake just emerges when you're like, no, that's not my intention, but it just kind of flops out. I don't know.
Flops out. People don't understand. All right, John,
I'm going to be checking out to see if I can buy one of those. That's pretty cool. All right, my number 7. I'm going to show it. I got it right here. Not many people have this. Most people have the game. I have a boxed copy of DDR
Wow.
Mario Mix for the
Look at
GameCube.
that. I always wanted that. That's cool.
And it's anytime you're dealing with dance mats or whatever, it's hard. Like, I'm not going to take this out, but you can see it's got the DDR pad in there. Whoa,
Wow.
hard to see.
Yep, and the game's in there.
Not that exciting.
We have the game out.
And the game is in here. So a lot of people have the game. You pick it up at a flea market or something like that. I never had played the game, and I really wanted to, so I was kind of looking for it. But one of the fun little stories about this is this was back in the days when I would hunt on Craigslist. I've since stopped because I feel like it's just too dangerous for my taste anymore. But I was hunting on Craigslist, and I came across a post where some guy was selling a bunch of games, including that one. And I was like, I have to get this. And the funny part was, the guy's name was in the email. When you email, you can sometimes see their name. It's not anonymous. And the email was at cbs.com. I was like, what? Something maybe not CBS, like CBS2 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I was like, at cbs.com. And I looked up the name. And so I Googled the name, and it was a news reporter in our area. And I mean, I could see him doing news reports. He was like, not like the guy in the studio, but the guy on the camera. I was like, this is the guy. Like, this is so weird. So I was able to get the deal, and I met up with him, and it was the guy. I was like, holy shit. Like, I'm talking to this news reporter guy who's just selling some Nintendo shit out of his basement. And so not only do I have a really cool thing, and I played through DDR Mix, by the way, it's actually pretty fun.
Yeah.
But I just love the fact that I got it from this newsman. It was
cool.
just so bizarre and weird.
Something you'll never forget.
I mean, it was as the biggest celebrity I've ever bought from Craigslist. And most people are not celebrities, right? So it was like, I bought it from like a near celebrity. I can't remember his name, but it was cool. Pretty awesome. So,
Nintendo Power. I used to be a subscriber to Nintendo Power, just like many of you have all been.
I know what this is.
And I've talked in the past. I now own only 3 copies of Nintendo Power. I don't know where they all went. My mom probably threw them away. I own 3. 2 of them I own. I've talked about in the past are ones that I wrote into, and my article got published in, what do they call it? The Pulse, right?
Player Pulse.
Player Pulse. Yeah. I'm not going to read them. I've read them in the past. I don't need to go through them right now. So that's why I own 2 copies. However, the 3rd copy I own, I think I sent this to you the other day, John. So it's not.
Oh yeah, I know exactly what this is. Very jealous.
The final copy of Nintendo Power, sealed with the letter of volume. I'm not going to read it all because you'll yell at me. But it's cool. It talks about the volume 285. Started in 1988. Blah 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 blah. You see the back kind of has like the picture of all the all of them. So this is actually pretty valuable. This is worth almost like $200 sealed in the package. You made a funny the other day. You said, it's actually a really good like magazine. There's a lot of good articles. And I said, well, I wouldn't know. I've never read it. So it's
and I'm shocked, like, because you must have gotten this when you were a kid. I'm shocked you didn't just open it to read it. Like
December 2012.
Oh, that's 2012. It's so much more recent.
Past the final December 12th issue, you will receive a refund.
I mean, you were 25 years old. I just think that felt like that would be an age where you would open it and read it and whatever, cast it aside, whatever.
Yeah, no. Final issue. Thank you and farewell.
That is very cool.
So, I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Again, sealed, but
you can give it to me.
At this point, why open it?
Around the time that I started really collecting, NES, I told you, NES is the love of my life. And they put out a Game Boy Advance called the Classic Series.
Oh, yes, I remember
that. This is a GBA SP with a backlight, and it looks like an NES, right? It's just very cool. And they put this out in where did I write it down? 2004, long time ago.
Mm.
This is what it looks like right here. This is the GBA.
Is that in the box or is that a sealed box you had?
This is not a sealed box.
No, okay.
When I bought this, when I bought this was open, but it was in like great condition.
Mm-hmm.
This not only is this just one of the most beautiful SPs, and the SP is just one of my top 3 systems of all
So
time.
simple. Just 2 buttons. I love it.
You would never know because I am not much of a hardware guy. This is the only hardware I own that I have modded myself. This is a modded GPA SP because the screen, as you can tell, is darker.
Mhm.
That is a SP 101 screen. I had the 101s are the backlit screens.
Yeah.
I had a mint condition black Onyx GBA SP 101. That was my baby. I loved that thing. And I played all my GBA games on it. But I loved this GBA, but because it had a front lit screen, I never used it. And one day I decided, let's fix this. So I opened this, I took the screen out of my 101 and I put it in here
Wow.
almost perfectly. I think one of the little rubber things got a little like trying to pull it out, got a little itched in, but you barely notice it. And so now this is a 101 screen on my favorite GBA.
That's cool.
So
That's
I
awesome.
love this thing to death. I love the GBA. To this day, I still love playing GBA games. But I've always wanted to collect the games that came out with the NES Classic Series. So there are 12. They're all NES games.
Oh, okay.
And I wanted to share my collection. First of all, I have Xevious. This one is sealed.
Wow.
I'm not going to open it because I didn't really give a crap about Xevious. Although oddly, I think it came to Nintendo Switch Online this week. So there's Xevious. This is a game called Legend of Zelda.
Oh, yeah, never heard of it.
So these are the NES versions of the game.
Where do you keep all these boxes?
It's over there.
it's over there somewhere.
Adventure of Link.
Nice.
Great. By the way, great places to play these games on the SP. Here's Castlevania.
Classic.
They clearly went with kind of the best, except for this one, Ice Climber, which is really bad.
Sucks. I tried playing that in NES Remix the other day, by the way. Game sucks.
It stinks. So yeah, most of these games are really good, and they're just like the NES replicas that you play on your SP. So I mean, it's a great place to play Zelda and Link until like the little devices came out, the Game & Watches.
Yeah, those are nice.
But the funny thing is, today I was like looking them up, going, I always wanted to collect all the NES series, but I stopped. I just stopped paying because the prices got so out of whack.
Yeah,
I stopped wanting to spend a bunch of money on it. But today I bought Donkey Kong.
Ooh, how much was that?
I have 7 of them now. I was also going to buy Bomberman or Dr. Mario. Those are 2 others.
Those are nice.
I don't have Pac-Man either. I can't remember all of them that there are.
So did you find one with the bots and everything?
Yeah, I make sure I get them in pretty good shape. They don't have to be. I definitely don't want them sealed because I want to play them. I already own Donkey Kong the cartridge somewhere, but yeah, like I want to have all 12. So I have 7 now. I'm going to try to get all 12. Cool. I don't think any of them individually are super expensive, but they're all like $50, $60.
So these are, I think I've showed you these ones before as well, John, but I don't know why I'm proud of these ones because the games suck, but they're Club Nintendo awards. And there's something about me that love Club Nintendo, right? These are great. Sealed DS games 1 and 2 of the Game & Watch collection.
Horrible games.
Horrible games, but they're so cool, right? They have the little Club Nintendo logo on there. You can see they're really cool, like bots arts, right? They have.
Mm-hmm.
I got a bad glare going on here, but right, super cool.
God, those games were so bad though.
They're so bad. Those
were only available through Club Nintendo.
Yeah, that's cool. What's kind of cool and unique about them. So you can never really get them. And again, I'd say mint condition. But
I mean, they're sealed. And they're hard plastic, so
there's no punchers or anything, or even.
I wonder if they didn't want to put them in stores because they felt like anybody who bought them for their kids would be super disappointed.
So they're disappointed.
Like,
save it for make those and then realize like shit, we need to just give these out for free.
Nobody was going to buy those.
No.
Nobody.
But
that's pretty cool.
But when you see a free game as a reward for Club Nintendo, you're going to jump on that, right?
Yep.
I mean, we all had the Mario statue. Looking at it up there from the Club Nintendo. Just getting those physical rewards back in the day were so cool. Now it's like I almost forget about they exist, and I really like the pins and shit that they put out.
Well, they pop up and they sell so quickly, and then you got to pay shipping, so they don't even feel free. But
yeah, I looked at it the other day though. I almost got my daughter something. They had like this cool little journal, And I think every day they kind of like gave you a little Mario question, and you're supposed to just write about it. I thought it was pretty unique and cool, but I never pulled the trigger.
Yeah, I can see why.
Yeah,
It's because
exactly.
at the end, it's just paper. It's like,
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
I like the unique stuff.
yep.
So interesting you brought that up, because my number 5
Ah.
is the Luigi's Mansion, the Year of Luigi 30th anniversary
Wow, look at that.
statue.
That's cool.
For about 6 months, I kept this sealed. And then I kind of hit the phase in my life where it was like, no, I'm going to keep the box and everything, but I'm going to open it too.
Yeah.
So this is it. And it's just one of the cooler.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I don't have
things
that one.
with a Polterpup.
Polterpup?
They got pretty expensive too. I think they are still pretty pricey, although mine's not sealed.
Let me look it up. What's the official name of it?
It is a Luigi's Mansion. They call it like a statue. And it's a Club Nintendo product. It came out in 2013. I had to look it up because I wasn't sure of the timing of it, but 2013 is the year that Luigi's Mansion 2 came out. Dark Moon.
It's up there. It's over $200, I'd say. Even open. Yeah.
And it's pretty cool. But the story behind this, which is interesting, is I had a friend a long time ago who was into Nintendo, and he mentioned the reward codes that were in the games. And I didn't buy games the way I do now, but I owned a lot of games, and I've seen the codes all over the place. Never knew what those were. I just didn't care to look. And he says, yeah, if you go to the website and you enter in the number, you get a certain number of points, and then you can use those points to redeem Club Nintendo. And he said that because he needed more points because he wanted to get this. So I went through all of my games. It was just bunches of like GameCube and Wii games.
I remember the
and
days.
Even Wii U. I'm just entering code after code. I had stacks, and I'm like, code. And even some of the used games I bought, the codes worked, right? And I was able to get this. And this, to this date, is still the coolest Club Nintendo. Yeah. I have a few others, but this is the coolest one.
That is a cool
So I'm really glad I got it. It's a very neat little statue. And I wish they still, like you said, I wish they did this stuff.
Yeah, agreed.
Because it's just so cool. So yeah, for a while it sat in the box, but now it always sits outside the box. But I would never get rid of the box or anything like that.
I have the bots for the other Club Nintendo statue that came in the question block one. Mm-hmm. You have that one? I have that one.
No. Anything before that, I don't have it all. Just like I like your games and stuff. I don't even know if I was when that came out, but yeah, I blew a lot of points for this one.
Nice.
So that's my number 5.
Nice. All right, my next one's a little bit. There's a lot to it. I mean, I want to talk about these. So, there's a bunch of old school action figures that I want to show you. I don't even know if they call them action figures, but I'm going to start with these ones. These were 1989 Applause figures, right? So there's a lot of them. There's these little guys. They like these rubbery PVC. This Mario on a beanstalk. I got this Luigi guy.
They're so Italian looking. Like they have.
I got Mario holding a little mushroom.
Oh, he's so chubby.
Mario throwing a fireball. Mario sitting on a Koopa, which actually looks like a turtle.
Yeah, that really does look like a turtle.
And then Mario pulling out a turnip. And I got Peach.
Very Mario too. Whoa, look at that dress.
Yeah, so these things actually all go for like $20 each, believe it or not. But what I'm most proud of is my 1981, this guy's kind of beat up, vintage Nintendo and Coleco Donkey Kong Mario. This, John, if you remember, back to our episode with Brett Martin, is one of the first Mario toys ever made.
Wow.
Yeah, so
yeah, because it doesn't look like Mario. It looks like a Jumpman.
Jumpman, right? Yeah. Looks like a Jumpman. I actually have. I don't have him with me. I have a feeling it's at my mom's house. The Donkey Kong that came along with him as well. He's holding like a barrel over his head. So yeah, this guy's pretty beat up. I probably used to fight him when I was younger with all the other guys. But 1981, vintage little action figure.
And that's pretty cool because like that's before Nintendo came out and people had an affinity. It was just an arcade machine. Who's getting merchandise for it?
Correct, right? So those guys are some of my favorites. I can't show you them all, but I have like a little
1981
double shelf up here.
You weren't even alive when that came out.
I was not. Nope.
Wow.
Yep, 1981. Yep.
That's weird that you ended up with that.
Yeah. I know. I think my mom done them for me. And I have a shelf with like all little action figures and stuff. Right. I have these little guys too, which is like an entire series. These guys are really cool. Um, I have Bowser, Shy Guy, Waluigi, Daisy, Boo, Wario, Yoshi, Mario, Toad. You name, 'em, I have them all. But those guys are really cool. I have John. Do you remember these? These were like little, like they're stress balls.
I don't remember Mario ones, but yeah,
Yeah,
I
these
have
were
your
stress
Boo.
balls. I think they were these little. These were jats. Yeah, they have. I have all. I have the mushrooms. I have a star. Cheap, cheap question block. But these are always my favorite. I was the guy that I was never the asshole that opened shit in the store, but I was definitely the guy that trying to feel the package.
Right.
Right. Like, oh, that's definitely a thwomp, or that's definitely a star.
Oh, they were blind boxes.
They were blind boxes, but they were blind bags.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, you ever go there and you see the people that just rip them open, like, and then they,
No, people
oh
do
my god,
that.
you never gone to a store and it's like all ripped open one so you can see who's inside of it. But here's
No.
my question: like, do they just steal it if they find the one
Yeah,
they
I
want?
think
Because
you would
there's no
just
way you'd go
steal.
to the register with an open thing and say, "I want to pay for this."
All right, my number four is I think one of the first boxed consoles that I ever got that I was like, wow, this is not something normal or anything I ever had before. Because when I started collecting, I was collecting stuff that I had as a kid. But this is one of the cooler things and one of the most 90s things I've ever seen in my life. This is a Virtual Boy
Oh,
complete in the box.
that's
And it's
cool.
in pretty good shape. I love there's like a sticker. I'm going to try to hold up the camera, but there's like a Duracell kind of ad sticker on there. And I mean, just this box is so beautiful from a 90s point of
That
view.
is a cool box. I agree.
The colors and whatever. And it wasn't the best system, but if you have a working Virtual Boy, there
Yeah, that's
is fun to be had
just worth
in
some
20
money.
minute increments. It's not in perfect shape, but it's in really good shape. And they're kind of hard to find because they didn't sell that many Virtual Boys to begin with.
Mm.
Um,
Where'd
but
you
it's
get that
pretty.
one? Do you
I
remember the
bought it a
history?
long time ago. I wanted the box. I think I paid like 150 or something.
That's not bad.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm sure it's gone up. I mean,
And
everything goes
looking
up.
now, there looks like they're between anywhere from like 350 up to 700. So it depends maybe on the day and the buyer.
Yeah. The cool thing about that Virtual Boy is I don't know if you've ever had a Virtual Boy or taken care of it.
I've never even tried it, to be honest.
Having a Virtual Boy is a pain in the ass because what happens is there's these two cables on each side and they get loose over time. And the solution, the Muggle solution to fix it is you bake it. And I think
Oh
we've
my
had this
god.
discussion before. You have to bake the cables. So you have to take the cables and you put them in an oven and you literally cook them and it kind of solders them back together. It's not foolproof, but it does work
Hmm.
because they used glue to do all the connections. And what happens is when you bake it, the glue melts and the wires kind of come in better contact with each other. Or if you have someone who's really good at soldering, like really good, not just like, average at soldering, you can solder those cables. They're very small.
Hmm.
And we had somebody in our gaming group who lived in Wisconsin, I want to say, and he could solder those. And so a few of us sent our cables to him and he soldered them and sent them back. So my Virtual Boy has soldered cables, which means it'll always work.
Wow.
And I'm in love with that fact. So one day I gotta break out the Virtual Boy and play. There's some good games. I really do enjoy some of
Very
those games.
cool.
It's a pain in the butt to pull out, and there's a bunch of cords and whatever. But
Mhm.
I love that box. I will never get rid of the box. It's the most '90s thing in my room,
That's
and I
cool.
love it. That's my number four.
Very cool. All right. My number four is gotta open up my sack here. It's 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 not an officially Nintendo licensed product, but it's pretty cool here. So
Let's
this,
see what do you
John,
got in that sack.
this is an actual glass ocarina that is
Ooh,
playable. And when I got it, it came with this weird little book,
oh my
song
goodness.
from the Legend of Zelda, right? Um, and like Ocarina of Time intro, like this, it tells you legit how to play it, right? Like what holes to cover. I mean, don't ask me to play it. I don't even know. I don't know how to get to work.
I mean, that's Epona's song.
Yeah, that I mean, I just killed it, right? I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, but it's pretty cool. Like I said, I think it's more of like a little, just cool little, oddball item to have. I mean, if you really wanted to get into it, I mean, it seems pretty self-explanatory with this book. Like as far as what holes to cover, I guess you could say. I don't know. It has all sorts of. I mean, every Zelda song you can think of is in here. Clock Down song too. That's a classic.
Classic.
Heaven's Room. That's odd. I don't know that song. Anyways, I have an ocarina. I don't really know what to do with it, but I have it. I keep it in this nice little purple silky sack.
All right, my number 3 is really harkens back to the game box that I love the most in life. And I always wanted to have it, and I got it one day, and then I couldn't really stop with the rest of the collecting. So usually on top of this here Skyward Sword standee is my Zelda shrine.
That's true.
And this is the cartridge box that I love more than any other in the world. This is the NES Legend of Zelda box. And you can see the gold cartridge kind of comes through in this cutout square, which is just the coolest thing. Even when as a kid, I just thought that was the coolest thing. So this is complete in box. And then we have Adventure of Link, which also has the same cutout, although it just doesn't, it's not as cool. It's just like the shield up there. This is probably my favorite 2D Zelda game. I just love Adventure of Link.
Really? I don't think I've ever even beat it. Is that, what kind of case is that, in a hard case of some sort?
It is in a hard plastic case.
Did you just order those like on eBay, the hard case?
Yeah,
not to damage it?
Smart. I don't have many of my games in cases, maybe a couple dozen.
Is the game in the box still or no?
The games are in there because I think it shows off the cutout better. But it's just a shield,
is it?
It's not sealed, no.
No, yeah, but you kept
I'm not
the
really
games.
A sealed collector.
I mean, yeah, the games are. That's in good condition. Did you ever thought about like getting those graded?
No, they're not sealed. If I was ever going to sell it, I would probably grade it, maybe. But here is a Link to the Past. Another one that like I knew I needed to have. Not as grandiose, but you just, once you get started with Zelda, you can't really stop. I've got Ocarina of Time. This one's not even in plastic. It's not in the best shape. It's in solid shape, but the corners are a little raggedy. It's funny, the cartridge is in there, but I have the hologram cartridge too. So I'm just realizing now that this is the. Hang on. I did not know that I had this in here. Is this the non-hologram version that I have? Oh, no. I have NFL Blitz in here. I have no idea why that's in there. That's really weird. Maybe to give it some weight. Nice. Then I have a very nice condition Majora's Mask in the box.
Love that game.
This thing came in. It's such a great condition. I was trying to make. It's like, is this real or is this like a repro? But it's real. Yeah. I just didn't realize it was in good condition when I bought it on eBay. Then moving forward a little bit, I have this Skyward Sword.
Every Zelda game
with the gold Wiimote. When I got this was worth like $400. The price. Yeah, the price went insane on it. And everything in here was still sealed. The Wiimote, it was all in the original plastic.
But you opened it.
I bought this and a bunch of other cool stuff from a guy for $100. He did not know what he had, but he had the collector's editions of Mario and he had a Wii and all that. But this thing alone was like 4 times the price. It's come down in value, but this is the Skyward Sword. And then I remembered I have this today, a sealed copy of Breath of the Wild for the Wii U, which I think a lot of people actually have. I bought it on day one, and then a former friend of mine wanted this copy for his wife, and so I sold it to him and then bought another copy. But Yeah, I'll never open this because I don't see a reason. But part of me really wants to sort of. I'd love to know what Breath of the Wild and the Wii U is
Oh
like.
my god, it can't be good.
I know, but the gamepad has functionality
I know, you're right.
that makes it cool. But then one last little thing, I was almost going to make it separate, but this is a collection that I was going to start, and I've only got one, and I've never gotten past it because of price. This is the original Famicom version of Legend of Zelda. And there's like probably a half dozen NES games that I'd love to have the Famicom
That's
versions
cool.
of. But if you've ever had a Famicom game, they are an interesting package. I'm opening this one up. I remember in the original Famicom, they used discs. So Legend of Zelda and a lot of other big NES titles were discs. It's a floppy disk.
Huh, look at
And if you
that.
look really close at the top, it has Nintendo
Whoa.
written in there. That was part of the copyright system. When you put this in, it
Yeah,
locks in into a plastic Nintendo.
that's
So
cool.
that's really kind of interesting. And it's got a manual. The front cover is actually the manual. It's all Japanese, obviously.
Hmm.
And I was going to buy a bunch of like these games, the disc versions, Metroid, Kid Icarus, that sort of thing. I just never
Hmm.
have gotten to it because it's too expensive. But uh,
That's what I have is a Wii game, John. A sealed Wii game.
sealed Wii game. What could it
A
be?
25th anniversary of
Oh,
Super
I
Mario
have
All
that.
Stars,
Yes,
right? This is a really cool little kind.
I like that. It's like
Comes
a
with
little
like a
Velcro.
little Velcro disc here. So yeah, I don't know why I bought this goes back to that same time frame, right? Early 2000s to mid 2000s where I just thought everything was going to be worth money, and I think that was like my height of my collection stuff where I showed some of the things already. Like that was why I kept my DS game sealed. I remember buying two copies of this game when it came out. One of them I bought and I played it, and then the other one I kept sealed. I don't know
Did you
why.
say that is Super Mario All Stars for listeners? I'm not even sure if you did.
Yeah, Super Mario All Stars limited edition. I think there was actually limited on these. I don't think they just sold
Mm-hmm.
them. Yep, but yeah, this is for the Wii. This was just they had the original. It was pretty much the original Super Nintendo All Stars game, but you could play it on the Wii. And
Yeah,
at the time, I don't. I guess you could have still bought the games on the shop, right in the eShop back then. I think they had them.
maybe I don't remember, but this one was obviously a little special edition of it.
Little special edition one. It had the soundtrack inside, as well as a booklet. Right, it had like a Super Mario little booklet, which just showed the history of Mario over time. So pretty cool. This was, I think, 2010 ish.
I love Nintendo. My whole life has been consumed by Nintendo since the NES, but it is not the nostalgic period that gets me the most in my heart. That belongs to early 1980s PC games. And one in particular, as we've talked about before, King's Quest, which is my favorite video game series, I'll say of all time, but it's like I don't play it much anymore because they don't really make King's Quest games.
I love King's
I
Quest.
mean, they kind of do. They did the last King's Quest was actually really good on PS4. I still need to
Really?
play through.
Is it like the old school type? I
It
mean,
doesn't
obviously not
look
eight
like it.
bit. I'm gonna look it
So
up.
it doesn't look like it. And when I played it, they gave away chapter 1 for free on the PS Plus service, and I was like, this is probably not going to be good, but let me try it. And it was amazing. It was like so good.
Really?
And so I did buy it, and I have all 5 chapters, and I still have only played the first chapter.
That
I
sounds like
just
something you
haven't.
should
I
play.
need to play it. I don't know why I haven't played it,
Oh,
but
so it's definitely more of a 3D. Okay, I see it
yeah,
now.
you
But it's
just
still
got
a point and click game, or
it's a
not
point.
really?
They're all point and click now, but it's
Okay.
got great art style. It was
Yeah,
funny. It was
that looks cool.
clever. Yeah, my kids, we had fun like playing through and figuring it all out. Now they
Huh.
wouldn't play with me, but okay. So King's Quest 1.
Wow,
I do not have the PC Junior, which is the real first
that's cool.
released. That's
Is
the
that
silver one with really bad like cover art. I want that so badly. One day I'll find one for the right price. I want that PC Junior. King's Quest 1. Okay. They've re-released computer games a lot, different systems. You had Amiga, PC, Mac, re-releases. I know these got
God?
re-released by some
Sierra
other
is
company.
just so good. Love
And
Sierra.
I love I love these games as I like them as text. So I played a lot of those early Sierra games where you type in your
Yeah.
commands. Parser. Um, King's Quest 2.
Oh, that's on the Merlin's Castle or
Yeah, by the way,
whatever.
if you shake it, they all have the discs, they all have the manuals, inserts, all that jazz. They're all complete. But this one is King's Quest 2. King's Quest 1 is incredible. King's Quest 2, I mean, just when I look, I was like trying to remember
Oh,
what King's
yeah.
Quest 2 was today.
That was
And
the one
the
in the
art,
castle, isn't it? Or
yeah,
no?
you go under the water.
Yes. Those games
Um,
are awesome.
it's like they're just amazing to me. King's Quest 2. This was like a re-release. It's much darker, but I think they re-released this like years later. I'm not trying to collect all the versions. The problem is like once I have them, I'm just like I'll keep them.
Mm.
Here is my favorite PC game of all time, King's Quest 3, To Err is Human. This is the
Well,
one with the wizard.
show me the back of that. That's the one I'm thinking of. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's you start off in his house, right? And he goes up down to the village. Yeah, and you have to try
Yeah.
to yes.
And you
he
got to
comes
figure
back.
out like you got to like
Yep.
find stuff, but you got to get rid of it before he comes back. It's
Yes,
so
that
much
one's
fun.
cool. That one's unique. That one's hard.
Yeah, that's my favorite PC game of all time. So here's King's Quest 3 again, To Err is Human. One of
That's
these
what I was thinking of.
is yeah, that one's like a DOS EGA Tandy version. The first one is for the Tandy color computer. King's Quest 4, The Perils of Rosella, which is a
That
game that I
cover
had
art.
never played before. And then several years ago, I was like, I'm going to play through this game. And I did. King's Quest 5. I believe King's Quest 5 did not use the text parser anymore. It became just point and click. I might be wrong on that. I still have never fully played through King's Quest 5. King's Quest 6. This is definitely all like parser, and like I think they start to go downhill because they're all point and click. But I've never played through King's Quest 6. King's Quest 7. Look at the art on this.
That's cool. That's pretty different than all the other ones too.
Yeah, this is like definitely an era of Sierra where the art kind of looks all like this. And speaking of King's Quest 7, King's Quest 7 with different art.
I
don't know the story behind the two arts, but
you have them all.
They're re-released, yeah. And then King's Quest, this is the final one, King's Quest 8, which the artwork is
ugly.
Really ugly later DOS stuff. And I don't know if anybody who even talks about this game. There's like I see a picture of the guy, he's got like bow and arrow. I don't even think that's even a real King's Quest game that you would call. And then just when you think you're done, I have King's Quest for the Crown on the Sega Master System.
That's ridiculous.
It is the only Sega Master System I own. And I have a box copy of King's Quest 5 for the NES, which I cannot believe you're going to have one King's Quest game on the NES and it is 5, which shows you how old this series is, right?
Yeah.
Like 5 was on the NES.
All right, my number 2 is nothing special, but I came across it today when I was cleaning and looking for some stuff, and I thought, oh my god, I kind of forgot I had this thing. It's pretty cool. You might have this one, John. This is the Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess.
Oh, the shield.
The Master Sword Hylian Shield replica. It says right here it includes a 1/6. There it is. Scale official CD soundtrack and certificate of authenticity. Let me open it up for you guys to show you what it looks like on the inside.
Is it numbered?
Oh, I don't know. Is it numbered? Let's see. If you take out the black, and let's see. Right underneath it is the certificate. 2006. I don't know.
Man, I kind of forgot that this stuff. Yeah, there is a certificate, but I don't think it's numbered. It has Miyamoto's little, photocopied autograph.
No, nothing on the back. Must not be numbered.
Yeah. I think they probably sold a good number.
I think so too, but it's pretty cool. I think I don't know if it's honestly metal, but it's definitely not plastic. It's some fake stuff in there.
Yeah, it's solid though. I mean, for something that you buy in a store,
yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's pretty solid. That's cool.
Yeah, that's my number 2. Nothing super special, but came across it. I kind of forgot I had it. Maybe I'll put it back up on display somewhere. The box is a little. I'd say it's very good to good. There's a couple scratches on it.
Yeah, it's
That's it. That's my number.
My
Two.
number one is very sentimental to me.
Okay.
Before I do, I wanted to do this before I started. We'll just call these sort of honorary mentions. Michelle saw these today and said this should be on my list. So she handmade
God,
Max and Chloe from Life is Strange
that's cool.
in crochet, and you can see Max has her little pack. She doesn't have a camera, but she has her pack.
Those are pretty cool. How long did it take her to make those?
She did it over the span of many nights. Yeah, she does have a camera. She I think she bought a camera. It's a little like Polaroid keychain
Oh,
thing.
jeez.
But yeah, like she sewed the shirt, Jane Doe, and all that, and
That's
then
cool.
Chloe's got her blue hair. So yeah, I didn't need to. I always told her she needs to cut the hair though, because I think the hair is a little too long for Chloe. But that's my definitely honorary mention.
That's cool.
Okay, this is going to be very, very sentimental. Nobody's
Uh-oh.
going to give. Say right now, nobody's going to give a shit about this,
Okay.
except
But
for
you care.
maybe Jesse Waldeck. I'm a computer programmer. I have been a professional computer programmer for 30 years.
God, you're old.
And I know. And 30 years? Wait, no, it can't be 30 years. 28 years. My computer career started when my mom bought me, I don't recall with any of my nagging. She bought me a Tandy Color Computer 3. So for Christmas one morning, there was a computer set up and it was for me. And like I said, I don't remember asking for it or whatever, but it was probably like, I need to get my son a computer. That's the future, right?
Yep.
And I mean, when she got it for me, she probably just thought I was going to use it to play some games or do some things, or she didn't know what I was going to do. Some years later, many years later, long after my Tandy Color Computer 3 was gone, long after I forgot what the particular model of color computer that I had forgotten, somebody was selling this on Craigslist. Not the computer, mind you, I don't have it, but the manuals. This is the Tandy Color Computer 3. Now, for you young folk out there, and you too, Drew, there was a time when you bought a computer and it had to explain it to you in hardcore detail how you used it. So they had manuals. How to, like, look at this chapter, using the display.
I like it.
It was just like, plug in this cable. It wasn't as easy to use. A Color Computer 3 still used that weird RF connector. So when you got a computer, you got something like that. You got the Color Computer disk system. And it told you how to use the disk system. And I mean, these are just raw commands to type in. Well, you want to change a file? Rename it. Rename, quote, old ACC / DAT : 1 to new ACC, like stuff we don't do today. Okay. That's fine. But this book right here, this is the book that started my whole career. And without this book, maybe I wouldn't even get into computer programming.
Look at that little computer guy. Look
this
how cute he
book,
is.
Color Computer 3 Extended Basic. Basic is a programming language. Computers came, I'm not sure if all computers did, but the Color Computer did, came with programming books. That does not happen today. Needless to tell you, if you buy a Mac, you're not getting a programming book. This book is fairly thick. This book is 344 pages and teaches you how to program in BASIC. And this is the book that I got with my Color Computer and was looking at, and I was learning to program. And little did I know that that would become my career and basically my identity, except for having like a third-rate, vulgar video game podcast. So that book means it wasn't the original book that I had, but the world to me. Something else I did want to share, by the way, if you had a Color Computer 3, it looked like a Commodore 64 and had a cartridge slot on the side. It didn't necessarily come with a disk drive. That was separate. But these are the cartridges that Color Computer 3 used. They're pretty thick cartridges. Okay. And I got this, I don't know. I bought like a PC bundle off somebody. You can still buy this stuff for pretty cheap on Craigslist or whatever. So I should still look for more. This is the Color Computer Editor Assembler with ZBug. This is for assembly programming. Needless to say, I didn't open it because I ain't doing that. But one of the 2 games that I own for the Color Computer is a game called Dungeons of Daggorath.
Wow.
This is complete in box. You can see the cartridge here. This is complete in box. So when you went to Radio Shack, and that was the exclusive provider of Tandy. By the way, Tandy used to be a leather company, and they got into computers, and they sold all their stuff at Radio Shack. So Tandy got very popular. Do you know the significance of this game, Drew?
I feel like I should. I feel like
You
it rings a
should.
bell in my. Yeah.
Have
Is
you
this?
ever,
Oh, is this in Ready Player something?
if you've read
I've
Ready
read them.
Player One,
I read both 1 and 2. I honestly don't read a lot of books, John, but I've read both of
right?
those. Yes,
This is one of the challenges. I think the first
that's
challenge.
right.
He plays Dungeons of Daggereth, and I just thought that was so cool because I actually owned the game, and it was like one of the only games I actually own. And I
Mm,
was like, wow. And I have it in complete mint shape. I don't know if it's worth that much. You can look it up for me if you want.
$450.
$450.
I don't know if that's true.
There's no way.
It says
There can't be any market for it. There can't
because
be a
there's
market. I mean, I don't know how many complete copies of Dungeons of Daggerath there are in the world.
that's my point. You can buy the single cart for pretty cheap, but that's the only one I see that's in
The
box.
box. The box is
How do
literally
how do you filter on
like
eBay of sold items?
there's a checkbox on the left side if you scroll down that says sold. The problem with it is even if it's rare or whatever, there's not much of a market for a Tandy color computer game. One day I
True.
do want to I want to one day buy a Color Computer 3 just to have the computer that I started with, and I would definitely try to play this game. I often say I want to get a Commodore, but I've never had a Commodore. But I think I would spend my time and get a color computer. But that's it. That's my number one. And
That's
literally
awesome.
my number one, by the way. That is like the most heartfelt thing that I own. I wish I had the original, but I don't.
Very cool.
Top that. I challenge you to top that, Drew.
Well, it's funny you say top that,
Oh.
John, because my number one collection is in this binder. And you don't know what this binder might be.
Baseball rookie cards.
Close. This binder contains 1989 Nintendo Topps cards.
Ooh.
And John, it is a complete set.
Ooh.
Every single card is in here.
I feel like it's such a nondescript folder, though. Like, wait, you got to do something with that binder.
Look at these.
Look at that.
So the cool part about these, right? This is going to be hard to see. These are stickers, right? There's 33 unique stickers.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
The cool thing about these is that I remember buying these and opening the packs, and I literally kept buying them until I got them. So there's 33 stickers, and all these yellow ones are. And then they had these really cool scratch games, right? So it might be hard to see. You see those little silver bubbles?
Yeah, oh yeah, I totally see them.
They're scratches, right? And they're supposed to be like you could only scratch so many, and you would either win or you lose. So this
but you couldn't redeem them for anything.
No, it was just a game. Super Mario 2.
That's funny. God, who on earth would scratch them off though?
I don't know, man.
Like I just collect them.
So let's look at some up. And there's a lot of Punch Out ones. There's a few series, right? So there was Legend of Zelda, Punch Out. They had Super Mario 2. I think they had what's the Double Dragon, Adventures of Link, and these are just really neat, really cool. And if you look these up, some of these individually sell for like $350.
Right, because they were rare.
Yeah, and I thought about like sending them in and getting them graded, but then it's like, what am I going to do with it, right? Am I selling them, or is it cool just to keep them in this binder and every couple of years pull them out and look at them? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And the sticker ones are cool because they have these little tips and tricks on the back. Mm-hmm. Like, let's read one. Let's Legend of Zelda. Some of the labyrinths in Zelda have hidden doors. Press the middle of each wall, and you may find one. I mean, again, something that for us common sense, but maybe not for everyone.
Is that how you find a hidden door in Legend of Zelda?
I think it's just like you could walk through the walls.
Oh, right. Yeah, that's right. You could. Okay.
After you've gathered up this is Super Mario 2. After you've gathered up a certain number of cherries, a star will appear. Picking up the star makes you invincible. A lot of people don't know that, right? Yep. What do the cherries do? You get a lot of cherries, you get a star.
Yeah, you get the star.
but not everyone knew that. Here's another funny one. Legend of Zelda: push every tombstone to the graveyard. One of them hides an entrance to a secret cave. So like just fun little secrets. I think this is the one right here. I just saw sold yesterday for $350.
Which one?
Where is it? This Punch Out one.
Very cool.
So yeah, this is just a little. Like I said, you're right.
And those were tops.
Tops. TO. Yep. PPS.
Hang on, I need to check something real quick. Hang on. Keep talking. Keep talking to the crowd.
You know, it's you're right though, John. This is a pretty plain white binder. Maybe I need to like make myself a nice little graphic. I can slide in there. It even just says what they are a little bit. But yeah, like I said, I remember going to the store when I was younger, obviously not in 1989, a little bit later in life, and buying these and just opening pack after pack after pack and just saving them. And I will say these are all in pretty mint condition. Yeah.
So I needed to check out. I have packs.
Unopened?
Unopened.
That's them.
And I know that I remember someone gave me a bunch of these.
$10 each they sell for.
Last I checked, I don't think they're like super valuable.
$10, I think.
$10. Okay. But I actually gave a pack to Jesse Waldack for our Christmas.
Wow.
Our Secret Santa.
Open one.
So Jesse, if you're there, you might. Should I open one? I don't. You know, this one is actually.
You wanted me to open my condensers kit.
Okay. I'm gonna open this one because the back is like not sticky.
Okay.
So is this like when you open like a Pokemon set?
And you do like you
look for the Charizard?
Look at this. This is like you could become like this is Inscription.
I mean, if I get the one that you said was 300, I'm selling that because I don't have a collection holding me back. It's so funny. I didn't open this, and I'm gonna put them back in. All right, I'm gonna do it backwards. I'm not even gonna look. I'm just gonna hold it to the camera.
All right.
So here's the first one.
All right. What's that? Adventure of Link. Oh, scratch one. That's the scratch one. Okay.
I mean, I would never scratch it. Okay, I'm not looking here.
Another scratch. A Legend of Zelda this time. Looks like he's fighting. Oh, he's fighting that guy with. I don't remember what they're called.
Did he find the invisible wall? Is there gum in these?
Oh, you got a nice little Punch Out sticker. Glass Joe?
Looks like no. Is that Glass Joe or is that?
I can't tell.
Yeah, I guess it's Glass Joe, but he looks really ripped.
He does, and he's huge.
All right, what do I got here? Oh, that's the one I saw on your first page. Soda Popinski?
No, that's Sandman.
Oh, no, not Sandman.
That's definitely not Soda Popinski.
Sandman's a black guy. That is.
It's
it's Super Macho Man. Super Macho
Man. He replaced my type.
No, makes sense when you look at it. All right, last one.
What that one's worth money. Soda Popinski.
Is it? Yeah, that's the Soda Popinski.
I think that one's.
I mean, why would you ever scratch these off?
Yeah, these are some super cool ones. It's funny. I mean, we didn't really have overlaps. I know we both kind of have different types of collections, but I thought maybe there'd be one or two, but no.
Right. It's gonna be cool. I like it. All right.
Good stuff.
Long show. I hope that was fun.
Yeah.
All right. That's it. Good night, dads.
Good night.
We'll be back next week.
Peace.